Have you ever wondered why, after eating, you feel more tired, bloated, or with less energy than before sitting down at the table? Today, I'm going to reveal the 11 most common mistakes you make after eating that, without realizing it, are accelerating your aging. And no, it's not just about eating dessert. Stay until the end, because the last mistake is as common as it is surprising. Before we begin, if this content brings you value, subscribe and activate the bell to stay updated. Let's start. 1. You lie down immediately after eating. Imagine that your stomach is like a high-tech washing machine. Can you imagine tilting a washing machine while it's in the middle of a wash cycle? It would be a total disaster. Well, that's exactly what happens when you lie down immediately after eating, and believe me, the consequences are more serious than you imagine. First, let's talk about why this is so problematic for your youth. When you lie down after a meal, gravity stops being your ally in the digestive process. It's like trying to swim against a strong current, possible but unnecessarily exhausting and harmful to your body. Renowned gastroenterologist Dr. Michael Roizen explains that lying down after eating can cause severe acid reflux, which is not only terribly uncomfortable, but can also dramatically accelerate the aging of your esophagus and irreversibly damage tooth enamel. It's literally like pouring corrosive acid on your youth, drop by drop. But how long should you really wait? The golden rule that people who age more slowly follow is to maintain a completely upright position for at least 2 to 3 hours after eating. Yes, I know what you're thinking. What the hell am I going to do for 3 whole hours? Well, you could read that book you have collecting dust, finally organize that chaos drawer you've had pending since 2019, or simply sit and enjoy a deep conversation without distractions. Acid reflux isn't just a temporary, momentary annoyance. Scientific studies have conclusively demonstrated that it can significantly contribute to chronic inflammation, one of the main and most destructive factors of accelerated aging. It's as if every time you lie down after eating, you send your body a personal and urgent invitation to age faster than normal. And let's not forget the devastating impact on your sleep quality. Lying down with a completely full stomach can seriously interfere with your natural sleep cycles. And we already know that lack of quality restorative sleep is like repeatedly pressing the fast-forward button on the relentless clock of aging. The next time you feel that irresistible temptation to fall like a sack of potatoes on the couch after dinner, remember this simple truth. Your body will be eternally grateful if you give it the necessary time to do its digestive work correctly. 2. You drink ice water immediately. Have you ever observed what happens when you pour completely cold water over hot oil in a pan? Exactly. An absolute chaos forms with dangerous splashes everywhere. Well, something incredibly similar and destructive happens in your stomach when you drink ice water immediately after eating, and the consequences for your youth are alarming. Traditional Chinese medicine has known this secret for thousands of years, but modern Western science is just beginning to catch up with this ancestral wisdom. When you drink very cold water after a meal, your body has to work doubly hard to maintain the optimal body temperature needed for efficient digestion. Imagine that your digestive system is like an ultra-modern and super-efficient factory that works perfectly at a specific and optimal temperature. Suddenly, an unexpected Arctic storm arrives, and all the delicate machinery slows down drastically. That's exactly what happens when you introduce ice water into this delicate process. Dr. Hiroshi Shinya, a world-renowned Japanese gastroenterologist, explains that cold water can instantly solidify the fats from the foods you just consumed, making digestion considerably slower and significantly less efficient. It's as if you cruelly force your body to work with the brakes completely on. This dramatically slowed digestion not only causes unpleasant bloating and general discomfort, but can also lead to completely inadequate absorption of vital nutrients. And when your body doesn't consistently get the essential nutrients it desperately needs, guess what inevitably happens? Correct, the natural aging process accelerates worryingly. But you don't need to give up water completely after meals forever. The fundamental key is in the correct temperature. Always opt for room temperature or slightly warm water. Your digestive system will thank you deeply, your skin will look noticeably more radiant, and your energy level will skyrocket. In some ancestral Asian cultures, it's a sacred tradition to serve warm tea after meals for exactly this scientific reason. It's not pure coincidence that these cultures have some of the longest-lived and healthiest populations in the entire world. Before moving to the third mistake that most people make after eating, if you're enjoying the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel with the bell so you don't miss future videos. And if you enjoy this type of content as much as I do, comment. I love wisdom. By the way, from what part of the world are you watching me? Write it also in the comments. Let's continue with the video. 3. You eat fruit as dessert. Did you know that sweet fruit can be both your best friend for youth and your worst enemy for aging, depending completely on when exactly you consume it? Today, we're going to talk about one of the most common and destructive mistakes that even the most conscious and careful health-minded people make. Fruit is absolutely wonderful, packed with essential vitamins, powerful antioxidants, and beneficial fiber. But here's the giant problem. When you eat it as dessert after a complete and heavy meal, it can silently become your #1 enemy of accelerated aging. Why does this transformation occur? Well, it turns out that fruit digests much faster than any other type of food. Imagine that your digestive system is like a complex highway with different specific speed lanes. Fruit travels in the super-fast lane, while heavy proteins and complex fats go slowly in the slower lane. When you eat fruit immediately after an abundant meal, it becomes completely trapped behind foods that digest much more slowly. It's exactly as if a sports Ferrari were completely stuck behind a heavy truck on a narrow single-lane road. And what inevitably happens when fruit stays waiting patiently in your stomach for hours? It begins to ferment slowly. This unwanted fermentation produces toxic alcohol and harmful sugars that can significantly contribute to chronic inflammation, one of the main and most destructive culprits of accelerated and premature aging. Famous nutritionist Harvey Diamond, author of the bestseller Fit for Life, explains in detail that this fermentation not only causes uncomfortable bloating and embarrassing gas, but can also seriously interfere with the absorption of nutrients, absolutely essential for maintaining your radiant youth and vitality. The solution is surprisingly simple. Always eat fruit on a completely empty stomach, at least 30 minutes before main meals or at least 2 hours after. This intelligent way, it can follow its natural digestion path without creating destructive chaos in your system. And if you really want something sweet after dinner, try a small piece of pure dark chocolate with at least 70% cocoa. Your skin will thank you infinitely more than a rotten fermented apple in your stomach. 4. You smoke or expose yourself to smoke. If you thought smoking only damaged exclusively your lungs, prepare for a scientific revelation that could completely change your perspective on aging forever. Smoking after eating is literally like pouring pure gasoline on the destructive fire of accelerated aging. Imagine that your body is like an incredibly busy and efficient restaurant. After eating, all the specialized employees, digestive enzymes, oxygenated blood, nutrients are completely concentrated in the main kitchen, your digestive system, working intensely to process all the food. Now, imagine that suddenly a group of destructive vandals arrives, toxic cigarette smoke, and begins to systematically destroy the entire place. Dr. Susan Blum, a world-renowned specialist in preventive medicine, explains that smoking after eating literally multiplies by 10 the devastating negative effects of both deadly tobacco and processed food. It's exactly as if you were violently pressing the button to accelerate aging at maximum possible speed. Why is smoking especially harmful and destructive after eating? Well, after an abundant meal, your blood flow is directed mainly toward your working digestive system. When you introduce toxic nicotine and other deadly chemicals at this critical moment, they are absorbed much more quickly and dangerously distributed throughout your body when circulation normalizes again. Additionally, poisonous cigarette smoke directly and brutally interferes with the absorption of absolutely essential vitamins like vitamin C, vitamin E, and beta-carotene. These are precisely the vitamins your body desperately needs to effectively combat aging and maintain your skin young, healthy, and radiant. A revolutionary study published in the prestigious Journal of Investigative Dermatology scientifically demonstrated that smoking after meals can accelerate the formation of deep wrinkles by up to an alarming 300%. It's as if each cigarette after eating were equivalent to 3 normal cigarettes in terms of irreversible damage to your skin. And it's not just about the direct smoker. Dangerous secondhand smoke can also be especially harmful when you're in the delicate process of digestion. Your body is in a much more vulnerable state and absorbs significantly more toxins from the contaminated environment. The hopeful good news is that your body is incredibly resilient and regenerative. If you stop smoking after meals, or even better, completely, you'll begin to see notable improvements in your skin and general health within a matter of a few weeks. 5. You brush your teeth immediately. Have you ever thought that something as apparently simple and healthy as brushing your teeth could be silently contributing to your premature aging? Get ready, because this mistake is as incredibly common as it is absolutely surprising for most people. We all learned from a very young age that you have to religiously brush your teeth after every meal. It's one of those rules that seem permanently engraved in stone, like not running dangerously with sharp scissors or not talking to suspicious strangers. But it turns out that, like many apparently unquestionable universal truths, this one also needs some important scientific nuances. The American Dental Association has officially revised its recommendations in recent years, and for a very solid scientific reason. When you eat, especially acidic or sugary foods, the delicate pH of your mouth changes dramatically. It's as if your mouth temporarily becomes a completely acidic and corrosive environment. Imagine that the precious enamel of your teeth is like ultra-resistant protective armor. After eating, this armor temporarily becomes much softer due to destructive acids. If you brush immediately, it's exactly like rubbing rough sandpaper over that softened and vulnerable armor. You're literally wearing away the irreplaceable natural protection of your teeth. Dr. Howard Gamble, president of the prestigious Academy of General Dentistry, explains in detail that waiting at least 30-60 minutes after eating allows your saliva to completely neutralize the acids and effectively remineralize the enamel. It's like giving your armor enough time to harden again. This premature enamel not only makes your teeth look considerably more yellow, because the yellowish dentin under the enamel becomes more visible, but can also make you look significantly older. Worn and yellowed teeth can easily add years to your overall appearance. Additionally, dental enamel never regenerates. Once you lose it forever, it's completely gone. It's like imprudently spending your retirement savings. Once it's gone, there's absolutely no going back. What can you do then intelligently? After eating, gently rinse your mouth with clean water to remove food debris and dilute acids. If you really feel the urgent need to clean your mouth, use dental floss very gently, and then patiently wait that crucial hour before brushing. Before revealing the 6th mistake, if you haven't done so yet, give this video a like, subscribe, and activate the bell. This way you won't miss any tips for living with more strength, health, and independence. Let's keep learning together. 6. You take a hot shower immediately. Who doesn't absolutely love a hot and super relaxing shower after an abundant and satisfying meal? It seems like the perfect combination. You're completely satisfied, deeply relaxed, and a hot shower sounds like the perfect cherry on top. But it turns out that this apparently innocent cherry could be dramatically accelerating your aging process in ways you never imagined possible. Imagine that your body is like an incredibly sophisticated and efficient power plant. After eating, all the vital electricity, blood flow, is strategically diverted toward the main processing plant, your digestive system, to handle the critical task of digesting and absorbing essential nutrients. It's a process that requires a lot of energy and limited resources. Now, when you immediately get into a hot shower, your body receives an urgent alarm signal. Total emergency. We need to immediately regulate body temperature. Suddenly, that power plant has to critically divide its attention between 2 very demanding tasks simultaneously. The inevitable result is that your digestion is seriously compromised. Blood is abruptly diverted from your stomach and intestines to your skin to urgently help with thermoregulation. It's exactly as if you interrupted a professional chef in the middle of preparing his masterpiece to ask him to also simultaneously fix the air conditioning. Dr. Lisa Ganju, gastroenterologist at the prestigious NYU Langone Medical Center, scientifically explains that this blood flow diversion can result in completely incomplete digestion, which means you don't absorb all the nutrients your body desperately needs to stay young and healthy. But there's considerably more. When your digestion is chronically inefficient, foods can remain much longer in your digestive tract, which can inevitably lead to the formation of dangerous toxins. These toxins not only make you feel bloated and lethargic, but also significantly contribute to oxidative stress, one of the main culprits of accelerated aging. Additionally, the sudden temperature change can negatively affect your autonomic nervous system, altering the delicate balance between your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems. This imbalance can seriously affect your sleep quality, and we already know that lack of restorative sleep is like repeatedly pressing the fast-forward button on the relentless clock of aging. The solution is surprisingly simple. Wait at least 1-2 hours after eating before taking that hot shower. Your digestive system will thank you eternally, and your skin will look noticeably more radiant in the long term. 7. You do intense exercise immediately. Did you think doing exercise immediately after eating was a brilliant idea to burn all those extra calories? Well, prepare to discover why this apparently healthy habit could be silently sabotaging your youth without you realizing it. Imagine that your body is like an incredibly talented orchestra conductor, but who can only conduct one complex symphony at a time with excellence. After eating, it's completely concentrated on conducting the digestion symphony, an incredibly intricate piece that requires all its attention and available resources. When you suddenly decide to do intense exercise, it's exactly as if you asked that conductor to, without stopping the digestion symphony, also simultaneously conduct the exercise overture. The inevitable result is that both performances suffer dramatically, and you pay the painful consequences. Dr. Arthur Weltman, director of the prestigious Exercise Physiology Laboratory at the University of Virginia, scientifically explains that when you do intense exercise after eating, your body enters a kind of resource crisis. Blood critically debates between going to your active muscles or continuing with the vital task of digestion. And what inevitably happens when your digestion is seriously compromised? Well, to start with, you can experience painful cramps, intense nausea, and that horrible feeling of heaviness that makes every movement feel like you're running through thick molasses. But the long-term effects are even more worrying and destructive. Chronically inadequate digestion means you're not efficiently absorbing the vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants your body desperately needs to combat aging. It's like having armor against time, but with enormous holes. Additionally, intense exercise after eating can significantly increase the production of free radicals at a time when your body is already working intensely to process food. It's exactly like throwing wood on the destructive fire of oxidative stress. A revolutionary study published in the prestigious Journal of Applied Physiology scientifically demonstrated that people who did intense exercise within 2 hours after eating showed significantly higher inflammation markers than those who waited patiently. The fundamental key is in perfect timing and appropriate intensity. A gentle walk 30 minutes after eating can be really beneficial for digestion, but that HIIT training or that intense weightlifting session can wait at least 2-3 hours. 8. You drink alcohol as a digestive. How many times have you heard that a little glass of liquor after dinner magically helps with digestion? This belief is so deeply rooted in many cultures that it even has its own name: digestive. But prepare to discover why this apparently sophisticated habit could be adding years to your face. The ancestral tradition of the digestive comes from the ancient belief that alcohol stimulates the production of gastric juices, thus supposedly helping digestion. On paper, it sounds completely logical. Even many elegant restaurants offer a refined selection of digestives after dinner, but the scientific reality is dramatically different. Imagine that your liver is like the hero of an action movie, brave, dedicated, but who can only handle one dangerous mission at a time effectively. After eating, it's completely focused on processing all the nutrients from your meal, meticulously ensuring they get where they need to go. When alcohol suddenly arrives, it's exactly as if a second villain unexpectedly appeared on the scene. Your poor liver has to abruptly stop what it's doing and urgently concentrate on neutralizing the alcohol because your body considers it a priority toxin. Dr. Samuel Klein, gastroenterologist at the prestigious Washington University School of Medicine, explains in detail that alcohol directly and brutally interferes with the absorption of absolutely essential nutrients, especially B-complex vitamins, vitamin C, zinc, and folic acid. These nutrients are precisely what your body desperately needs to maintain young and healthy skin. But here comes what's really worrying. When your liver is busy processing alcohol, fat digestion is significantly compromised. This means those fats can dangerously ferment in your intestine, producing toxins that contribute to chronic inflammation. And let's talk about destructive sugar. Many traditional digestives like amaretto, sambuca, or Bailey's are absolutely loaded with sugar. After a meal, your blood glucose levels are already elevated. Adding more sugar in the form of alcohol is exactly like throwing gasoline on a fire that's already burning intensely. This lethal combination of alcohol and sugar after eating can provoke insulin spikes that, in the long term, contribute to insulin resistance, one of the most important factors in accelerated aging. Additionally, alcohol dehydrates your skin from within mercilessly. After eating, when your body is already using water for digestion, alcohol steals even more moisture from your cells. 9. You wear tight clothing during and after eating. Have you ever finished a delicious meal and suddenly feel like your clothes are literally strangling you? Most people simply loosen their belt or unbutton a button and move on without thinking about it. But what they don't know is that wearing tight clothing during and after eating can be accelerating their aging process in absolutely surprising ways. Imagine that your digestive system is like a delicate balloon that needs to expand freely to function properly. When you wear tight clothing, especially around the waist, it's exactly as if you were putting a tight elastic band around that balloon. The inevitable result: it can't expand adequately to do its vital work. Dr. Robin Chutkin, gastroenterologist and founder of the prestigious Digestive Center for Women, scientifically explains that external pressure on the abdomen can significantly interfere with the digestive process. When your stomach and intestines can't move freely, digestion slows down dramatically and becomes much less efficient. But the problems go considerably beyond simple temporary discomfort. When your digestion is chronically compromised, foods remain much longer in your digestive tract. This can inevitably lead to fermentation and putrefaction, processes that produce toxins that can accelerate aging at the cellular level. Additionally, tight clothing can negatively affect your posture during meals. When you can't breathe deeply due to constriction, you tend to breathe more superficially. This drastically reduces the amount of oxygen that reaches your digestive system, something absolutely essential for efficient metabolism. Constant pressure on the abdomen can also seriously interfere with lymphatic flow. Your lymphatic system is like your body's cleaning crew, responsible for eliminating toxins and waste. When it's compromised, these toxins accumulate dangerously, contributing to oxidative stress and therefore to accelerated aging. An interesting study published in the prestigious Journal of Neurogastroenterology and Motility scientifically demonstrated that people who wore tight clothing during meals had significantly slower digestion and reported more symptoms of bloating and discomfort. But there's considerably more. Tight clothing can also affect the vagus nerve, a crucial nerve that connects your brain to your digestive system. When this nerve is pressured, it can interfere with the signals that regulate digestion, leading to problems like acid reflux and slow digestion. The solution is simpler than you think. Opt for comfortable and loose clothing during meals. If you're in a formal situation where you need to look elegant, consider adjusting your clothing after eating or choosing pieces with elastic or adjustable waists. 10. You stress or argue during digestion. Have you ever noticed how an intense family argument during dinner can ruin not only the atmosphere, but also how you feel physically? It's not pure coincidence. Stress and conflicts during and after eating can be one of the most destructive factors for your youth, and most people have no idea of the damage they're causing. Imagine that your digestive system is like a high-tech laboratory where incredibly complex and delicate chemical processes take place. This laboratory functions best in a quiet and completely controlled environment. Now imagine that suddenly a deafening emergency alarm sounds. What do you think would happen to those delicate chemical processes? Dr. Michael Gershon, known worldwide as the father of neurogastroenterology, discovered that our intestine has its own nervous system with more than 500 million neurons. That's why it's often called the second brain. And like your main brain, this second brain is extremely sensitive to stress. When you stress or get involved in an argument during digestion, your body immediately activates the sympathetic nervous system, also known as the fight or flight response. It's as if your body said, "Total emergency. Cancel everything else and prepare to survive." And what's the first thing that gets abruptly canceled? Exactly, digestion. Blood is diverted from the digestive system to the muscles, the heart beats faster, and the production of digestive juices is drastically reduced. It's as if they turned off the laboratory lights right in the middle of a crucial experiment. But the effects go far beyond simple indigestion. Chronic stress during meals can lead to what scientists call leaky gut syndrome. Imagine that your intestine wall is like a very fine net that should allow nutrients to pass but block toxins. Stress can make this net develop larger holes, allowing toxins to enter your bloodstream. Dr. Eva Detko, a world-renowned specialist in intestinal health, explains that these toxins can travel throughout your body, causing systemic inflammation. And we already know that chronic inflammation is one of the main culprits of accelerated aging. Additionally, stress during meals can significantly alter your intestinal microbiota. These beneficial bacteria are not only essential for digestion, but also produce important vitamins for your skin health and general well-being. A fascinating study from Ohio University demonstrated that people who experienced stress during meals showed significantly higher levels of inflammatory markers in their blood, even days after the stressful event. The solution is to create a calm and pleasant environment during meals. Turn off the phone, avoid tense conversations, and if a conflict arises, postpone it until after digestion. Your body will reward you with better health and a more youthful appearance. 11. You don't pay attention to your body's signals. Have you ever finished eating and felt like an alien had taken total control of your body? Bloating, drowsiness, general discomfort, and you simply ignore it completely and continue with your day as if nothing happened. This last mistake is perhaps the most subtle, but also the most destructive of all. Your body is like the best personal coach you could have, constantly sending you signals about what it needs and what it doesn't like. But in our modern society, we have completely lost the ability to listen to these crucial messages. It's like having a phone that rings constantly but never answering. Dr. Marcel Pick, a world-renowned specialist in integrative medicine, explains that every symptom after eating is a form of communication from your body. That bloating isn't just normal after eating big, that tiredness isn't just natural digestion, and that acidity isn't something you simply have to endure. Imagine that your body is like a luxury car with a very advanced diagnostic system. When a light appears on the dashboard, you don't ignore it, hoping it will turn off by itself, right? You investigate what's wrong to avoid major damage. Your body works exactly the same way. But here's the problem. We have normalized feeling bad after eating. Phrases like, "I always bloat after eating," or "it's normal to feel tired after a big meal," have become so common that we think they're inevitable. But they're not. When you consistently ignore your body's signals, you're allowing small problems to become big problems. That recurring bloating could indicate intolerance to certain foods, intestinal dysbiosis, or even leaky gut syndrome. That extreme tiredness could signal insulin resistance or nutrient absorption problems. Dr. Mark Hyman, a pioneer in functional medicine, says that our body is constantly trying to maintain balance, but when we ignore its signals, it eventually gives up and accepts a state of dysfunction as normal. It's as if you force someone to work in terrible conditions for so long that they eventually get used to it and stop complaining. But perhaps what's most alarming is how this affects the aging process. When your body is constantly in a state of digestive stress, it diverts resources from important processes like cellular repair, collagen synthesis, and detoxification. It's as if you had a maintenance team that's always busy putting out fires and never has time for preventive maintenance. The key is in developing what experts call body awareness. After eating, take a few minutes to do a check-in with your body. How do you feel? Is there any discomfort? Do you feel energized or lethargic? If you consistently experience negative symptoms after eating, it's time to investigate. It could be as simple as eating more slowly, or it could require eliminating certain foods from your diet. Remember, your body isn't trying to bother you with these symptoms. It's trying to help you live your best life. The question is, are you willing to listen? If you've made it this far, write in the comments "conscious digestion," so I'll know who are the victorious ones who made it to the end of the video. Don't forget to give it a like, subscribe, and activate notifications for more content like this in the future. Share this video with those who might find it useful, and if you want to go deeper, consider acquiring the channel's exclusive ebook. You have the link in the pinned comment. Now, watch this video you have here beside, because if you don't watch it, everything you learned today won't help you at all. See you there. A big hug, and until next time.